Yo, JD here, Tyrrell Limitless, and we are back again with some league racing action. This is round 6 of TSRL at Canada. And coming into this off the back of a very good race at Monaco, where I really was not expecting to do that well. But we just did what we needed to do, and that's pretty much been the story of this season so far, except for Spain, Catalonia. Although we came top 5 still, didn't do a great performance there. But then at Monaco, we definitely bounced back with a good one and then retook the championship lead, which you saw at the start of this video. But now, typical, this is a Q1, I believe. In this session, it's a full qualifying format. If you're new to these videos, full qualifying, so Q1, Q2, Q3, and that was enough to easily get through in Q1 on the soft tyre, and you'll be able to see the result of that now. But the aim of this is just to get through. Don't need to do anything crazy, don't need to be setting purple sectors all the time, just doing enough to get through. Just warm yourself up during the session itself. But you can see now, we're starting a medium lap, and this strategy can either be a 1-stop or a 2-stop. But since I was anticipating of a very good chance of being a safety car in the race, I wanted to start on the medium tyres, because then I wanted to go a little bit longer and then try and force the 1-stop going onto the hard tyre. But a lot of people were going on the softs going into Q3, or trying to use that to get into the top 10 for this. And you can see this lap here is not a particularly great lap so far. And yeah, just coming into this race, I've always found Canada a very difficult track. Although I've had some very good results around here, similar to Monaco in a sense, where I don't feel I have great pace around here, but somehow I always seem to pull off a good result, and that is just really by not getting any damage, which is quite easy around this track, and also not getting any time penalties, which again is very, very easy, particularly through this last chicane. But this lap here was not a very good one at all. My PB was like an 8.1 or 8.2 on mediums, and it was like a 7.5 on softs. Coming across the line here, it's going to be an 8.6, so I knew that was not enough. So I'm going to have to go again. Potentially. But I actually put on the soft tyre, and as I start the lap, I actually invalidated it.
I think I'm going to be safer,
because I thought I might need to use the softs to get through, but somehow that lap, despite being an 8.6...
I don't even care if I start P11.
Or 8.5, was somehow good enough to get through into the top 10, and that was a lifeline to me, as my championship rival, Jam Pancakes, gets knocked out again in Q2. He starts P12 this race, and that means we're going to start on the medium tyres no matter what happens. That's the way it runs, like it does in real F1. Whatever you use in Q2 to get through into Q3, if you make it to the top 10, that's what you are going to be starting the race on now. So this is the end of my first lap, and these are on used softs as well, so these aren't brand new softs. I'm coming across the line, I do an 8.0, which I was really, really happy with, because I did 2 laps on these tyres as well. So going into my last run, the Delta says I should be gaining about 3 tenths pretty easily. So as long as I do a solid run, this would be a very good opportunity to even get pole position. So this is the start of my lap here. So going into turn 1, very awkward braking zone, going 4th gear, trying to use as much of that curb as you can. 1st gear to get that extra rotation, which I always say for certain corners, but you definitely need it around there. This one here, very, very difficult corner, so easy to cut. Skipping the wall on the outside, completely flat out first right. I use 6th gear, do a little bit of engine braking, but we actually go in so deep, and you can see in the Delta we have just lost so much time there, and you can see by my face that is not good, because we were actually doing quite a good first sector to that point. This one here, very conservative through there, because I just wanted to just get a good lap, but it's not going to plan at the moment. So coming through here, trying to get a late apex so I can go on the power ever so slightly earlier. And you can see just through that new tyre wear, just the brand new tyres, you can see some pure traction. So this lap is a pretty disappointing one, because I should be going much faster than this. So we're just going to absolutely yeet it, or try to for this last chicane. Was again quite conservative. I really struggled with that chicane. And coming across the line, we do get in the 7s, a 7.9, and that is only enough for P8. And Yeah, I was really, really disappointed at that because I did an 8-0 on 2 lap bolt tyres, and then on brand new tyres, I can't even beat it by a tenth, less than a tenth. So that was just a very, very poor lap. But thankfully, we do start on medium tyres, which I feel is really going to play well, and that's a tyre you really, really want to be starting on. I was quite surprised a lot of people didn't elect to try and do that, but of course, you run the risk of not getting into Q3. So our lap was good enough, just about, to get through, but we've got the start of the race, and I've got 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and trying to get a good start here. We get a pretty average launch, but we are on these medium tyres. People queuing up on the inside, which means we're going to take the opportunity to go around the outside, making up one position already going to here and make a little bit of contact with VSR and Tony, but we actually make a position there. So this is a good start so far. And the key thing around here, as I said, is just to not get any damage or time penalties, because time penalties is pretty much almost guaranteed around this track. So if I could avoid that, you'd be gaining quite a lot of positions if you did that. But right now, P7 on the medium tyre, I think we're one of the highest medium runners at this point. It's going very, very well. But moving on to lap 4, maintaining this position, and you can start to see already the soft tyre runners are actually degrading a bit, as we've already got our first full-blown safety car. And this could be an opportunity to potentially pit, because the hard tyres can just about last towards the end of the race. But you can see other people pitted, so I decide to actually prolong my stint, so that the hard tyres can go to the end from this just about. They've been very, very poor conditions since the pit lane is so short as well. We are just going to go for track position and catapult ourselves into a podium position. So this strategy is working out very, very nicely. But coming off this corner, I really, really struggled to get a good exit off, and KJ Gamer gets a much better exit meter. We're going to have to try and fend them off ever so slightly. Going down the inside there, we actually get pushed a little bit onto the grass, and
great job, KJ.
Yeah, wasn't too happy with that, but I felt I gave him enough to go on the curb. Obviously, it was definitely a bit tight from my angle, but I thought there was a little bit more room that he could have gone for, but luckily we didn't go off and didn't get any damage from that. So we lost a little bit of track with the leaders, and again, going through this corner, we were just scared to death of getting a warning or just getting damage through that corner, and it is showing, and we're defending a little bit more aggressively this time. Big decides not to go down the inside. My aim now is just to get back in that DRS zone of Danny F31, and I'm not sure who else is leading. It's actually my teammate who's actually leading this race as well. So everyone in front of me is on the mediums, and this strategy is working out very, very well for me at this point. It's looking like we can definitely fight for the win if we stay on point on this strategy. And we're in the DRS zone now, so we managed to get back in it and actually pull away a little bit from KJ Gamer behind. So this is working very, very nicely. But you can see again, I was really, really scared of corner cutting that corner, because it can just give you an instant penalty at times. So I was just trying so hard not to get any warnings. You can see now, definitely got more pace in the front two, but he has got DRS on the car in front, and we're not really under threat from behind. So at this point, it's just really just taking my time. And in terms of the championship, this is working very, very well for me, because my championship rival, I don't think it's even in the points of Jam Pancakes at this stage. But you can see again, off that chicane, just way too conservative. And KJ Gamer has got another run, so we've got to go a little bit half defensive, just choosing about the middle of the track, trying not to change my direction when I'm defending. But we managed to defend that position once again. You can see the guys ahead, looks like my teammates' tyres are going off pretty quickly at this point. But I was, again, being quite cautious, probably a little bit too cautious in this race so far, because it's, I have to defend, but I want to attack at the same time. And my teammate is really, really struggling with some tyre wear now. But we've got the DRS again. There's 2 DRS zones that you get around this, or 3 DRS zones you get around this track, actually, in fact. And you can see he is really, really struggling with traction. And it looks like we have got a lot of grip still available in the car as well. So I was really sizing up Danny at F31. 4 moves, so go down the inside, but again, just not fully committed, leaving him some room on the outside, but he gets a good exit. And again, I can't remember what wings I was running. I think I was running maybe 2.6 wings or something, so we should be pretty quick in a straight line. You can see we are definitely very quick in a straight line, as my teammate and the McLaren go into the pits, and this compromises my exit, and once again we get a pretty poor exit. But I don't think KJ is really going to fight this too much, because we're going to try and minimize the damage of the undercut that we are going to receive from my teammate and Danny F31. But continuing on, still feeling like I've got some pretty good grip in the car, but KJ is actually very, very close to me. And no, I'm planning to pit this lap, and you'll be able to see by a little weave that I'm just doing here, just trying to let him know that I'm actually going to go into the pit. So he actually overtakes me. You have to spot the braking point. We just about spot, but he actually jumps me going into the pit. So fair play to him. It was very, very close on my side of things. Going into the pit lane now, I was really hoping that I could get out ahead of him, have a pretty clean pit stop and get out ahead of him, but then to be slowed down by the AI, which is, yeah, no comment there. I don't know what you think about that. But coming out the pit lane now, let's see how much time we've lost. We have definitely lost a little bit of time, but nowhere near as bad as I thought it would be. We're about two and a bit seconds behind the leaders. And right now, I would say we are probably in a net P4 this race. And in terms of the championship, I think KJ is in P3 in the championship, but he's quite a way behind. This is working out very, very nicely. And in my mind, I wasn't really thinking of that too much. I was just thinking right now I wanted to win this race because I didn't have any warnings, no penalties or anything. I thought, no, I definitely feel quicker on these tyres than the medium tyres in the first stint. On the hard tyres, especially towards the end, we should be able to catch my teammate and the McLaren as well. But it's just a case of just navigating through this traffic now. We've got to make sure we get through it pretty quickly, but we do have some people on alternative strategies, like Eero Viper behind me. He is on the soft tyres, so he is just going to be so much faster at this point. And I decided there is no real point fighting that hard of him, because he's just going to constantly put me under pressure. And you can already see, just with the pure grip, I think he only put those tyres on a lap or so ago, and he sets the fastest lap of a 1:11.1. I think Jam Pancakes is also on the soft tyre as well. So I thought, the race is not a sprint, it's more of an endurance. We've got 35 laps and still a long way to go in this race, and we're already back in the DRS on the KJ. No point trying to lose that much time. Just be consistent, not get any penalties, and then we definitely still have a chance of winning this race. I was very confident in that, but we do have some people like Dylan again, who's right behind me, as we have another virtual safety car. So I'm not sure how many that is. I think that's 2 in one race so far, but we'll have to see if that affects me in any way. But as I said in my previous video as well, I tend to leave a lot of time on the table because I just don't want to be penalised by this virtual safety car, because it's very inconsistent in terms of when it gives you penalties. But you'll be able to look, coming out of the pits, you see a red ball coming out of the pits. That is CRG Zelchi, and because of that virtual safety car, he has benefited massively from that. And that means we're probably down in a net P5 in this race now. So that was very, very frustrating. But honestly, there's really nothing you can do at this point. And I didn't really think about it too much. And when I saw him come out of the pits, I think he's on the mediums as well. I'm pretty sure he might even be on the hards. I'm surely he must be on the hards, because he would want to be going to the end of this race. But tyre wear shouldn't be too much of an issue. We almost go into the back of KJ, because it's starting to go under pressure from Jam Pancakes, who is on the mediums. So he will definitely need to be stopping once again. So it's crucial I really keep him behind, because he's my championship rival. So I was definitely not going to let him pass like I did with Eero Viper. But again, just getting such a poor exit off this chicane, and he is almost side by side of me. So we're going to go into deep, leaving him plenty of room this time as we get a little bit of contact. And it may look like it from this video, but I feel there was definitely enough room on the inside, and there was still contact there. But luckily we don't get any damage or don't spin out. That could have been catastrophic for this race, but we still maintain our position here. And now these are the situations where I really don't like, where I feel if I had clean air I could pull away from people in front of me. But we're countering traffic, and I'm kind of boxed in, where I kind of have to attack and defend at the same time. So it's a very awkward situation where anything can happen. It can get quite scrappy, quite messy at this point. And you can see Jam Pancakes down the inside, and he's actually made contact with KJ Gamers 1. I'm pretty sure he's got damage, and they're starting to wrestle around on the straight here. And again, this is a situation I do not want as another safety car comes out as Ryan retires from the race. Yeah, that is number 3 in this race so far. And no, what was I thinking about doing here? This was probably a very bad decision. I decided to go into the pits when in reality I should have continued, and because my teammate has pitted because he's ahead of me in this race, although he has left the pit box, the game takes it a while to reset, and I'm going to be losing an absolute ton of time here. And now my thoughts were in this scenario was that since it's a full-blown safety car, the mediums are just going to be so much faster than the hard tyres as we get jumped again. So much faster than the hard tyres towards the end of the race. I thought I could be gaining so much time doing this, and I felt if I stayed out on the hards, I'd just easily be snapped up by everyone else. But in reality, I should have done what I did before. I should have gone for track position. So, no, it was looking good, and now we're P12. We're out of the points this race here, but luckily we do have a lot fresher tyres and the majority of the field ahead of me, so we really have to make use of it now. But the problem is, as I was talking about a few minutes ago, we just have traffic and they have DRS on each other. It's getting very, very scrappy. It's just going to be so hard to overtake these people, and there's a really high risk of getting damaged, getting involved in an incident. It's just really not what I need, and I need to get past these people as quick as I can, because otherwise the wear of these tyres will not be as beneficial as they would be at the start of this stint. So now I've got my main rival in the championship ahead of me here, and I'm out of the points. So I need to do something. I need to, if I could just extend my lead in this championship, despite making these decisions, then I would actually be kind of happy about it. So we get a pretty reasonable exit coming off here, and in my head I thought this is just now or absolutely never. So go down the inside of my championship rival Jam Pancakes, making a super clean move, and that was crucial. I had to make that move. It was a really probably the best move I've done, even better than the Monaco one that I've done this season. And we don't have DRS yet on the cars ahead, but it looks like he's not going to make an overtake into Chicane. But again, trying to get a good exit here. This time we do get a good exit, and that was very crucial. And some people, I think, are pitted, or I'm not sure what's happened, because I now find myself in P8, and I do not have a single warning so far this race. So the race has gone from very good to very bad, and now it's looking very, very good again. And now I've got my teammate ahead of me who's on the same lap old tyres, and I knew he was struggling in the first stint, so I thought he was definitely a position that I could gain. But we're not in a party, there's no team orders or anything at all. I know he's not going to make it particularly easy for me, but you can see we get a very, very nice exit and very good straight line speed. Was thinking about going down the inside, but I thought it would just be a little bit too much of a risk here. So trying to get another really good exit, try to do a repeat on what I did with Jam Pancakes, but we're going to be a little bit too far back, but we go down the inside anyway, making the corner a slight touch, slight bit of contact, but we get a very good exit, and it looks like the move is just about done, and I don't think he made it too difficult for me. Luckily we didn't have that much contact. He decides to go down the inside, but then thinks better of it, which is very, very good news for me. But because of that, we get another horrendous exit off the chicane, so we're going to go a little bit defensive, doing a Hamilton Button-esque, going almost onto the grass there, going into the middle of a track to make it difficult, going in a little bit deep, but we get the move finally done, and now we're into P7, and we're slowly recovering in this race, and we could still even get a podium. That's how crazy things can change in this game, and especially around track as we get another virtual safety car, another one, because Jakey has left the session now. So I think that's number 4, maybe even number 5 here. And apologies for speaking so much, because there's just so much actually going on in this race. And again, you can see I left a lot of time on the table, because I'd rather lose a second than lose 10 seconds, because it can just be so inconsistent in terms of what gives you a penalty under the virtual safety car. But we've still got relatively fresh tyres here, and you can see that is the battle for P3 this race, because I've got fresher tyres and all these guys ahead of me. I'm in the best position to take these positions, but we only have 7 or 6 and a bit laps of this race to do something about it now. But you can see almost going 3 wide into this final chicane. Let's see if I can get a good exit here. I don't. as I said before, I was just scared to death of getting a penalty. That's all I was trying to focus on. I'd rather lose speed than get a penalty through there. But now it's really starting to clog up a little bit. And again, this is a situation I don't enjoy, where people can break unexpectedly, and you just don't know how fast people are going to be. As we get a very good run on CG Jealousy, almost trying to fit through that gap. Didn't quite happen, so we'll go try and make him go a little bit defensive, which seems to work. And let's see if I can get a good exit of this corner. And we get a good one, but it's definitely not going to be close enough to make a move, because he does have DRS going down the straight. So I'm going to try and line up for another move, similar as I did to Jam Pancakes, hitting that curb a little bit too much on that occasion. But you can see, in a straight line, he is just absolutely rapid in a straight line. I think I was using a relatively low downforce setup, but he was just so quick in a straight line. I don't know what wings he was running this race, but you can see he's just pulling away from me. I know he's got DRS, but he's just absolutely leaving me for absolute dead. It's like a Ferrari at Monza versus a Mercedes. It's absolutely nuts. I'm going through here. We get another poor exit, but luckily Dylan on the hard tyres behind is not going to have an opportunity to overtake me. But going into turn 1 now, there's a little bit of action up here with Danny F31 and BMG Jamrocks. And it looks like the third place man is getting away slightly. But to note, we still don't have a penalty in this race, so it could all completely change. Zelchi gets a very compromised line going through it. This time, there's a little bit of a bigger gap, so we decide to keep our foot in. We decide to go round the outside of him, trying to get the DRS, and we get the inside for the right-hander. A wonderful move here, but you were to see, instead of changing my ERS, I accidentally changed my front brake bias instead, and that means I've lost so much time as my teammate is now attacking me now as well. And if only we got on the ERS button, which is, well, the ERS deployment, if only we did that right, and we could have had an opportunity to overtake him. But at least he has lost a little bit of time to the guys ahead. And coming off here, we are extremely close, and I don't think he is going to get DRS off this corner. He doesn't get DRS, but the straight line speed is just absolutely insane. We're going to force him to go pretty defensive coming off this chicane, and again being very cautious on the exit of this. But his straight line speed is just so good. We were almost pushing him around that hairpin, and we still couldn't overtake him. But again, we've let him, because of us attacking him, he's actually lost a little bit of time to the cars ahead. So as long as we can compromise his line going to the chicane, I think we have a very good opportunity to actually overtake him. And again, we're ahead of my championship rival, although KJ Gamer is actually leading this race, so he has done a very good drive and made the right decision so far. But coming off this, you can just see his straight line speed is just absolutely nuts. I don't know what setup he's running, but we should be having a lot more downforce, and you can just see how fast we are. But you'll hear me say now, it's just ridiculous. It's like he's got DRS all the time. So I was just trying to get as good exit as I possibly could, almost pushing him round this corner. But I don't think we're going to be close enough. Once again, it's just madness. I don't know. I don't understand it. He must be running absolutely zero downforce here. But coming through this chicane, we're closing up him ever so quickly, and he is just completely
fucking down.
He just completely braked and just had no power. And now we have just lost our wing completely here. And there was absolutely nothing that I could do in that scenario. But we'll go have a look at a replay of this once again. Coming off here, no, we're not even on full power, and already hardly coming off the corner. It's like he just broke. It was
fucking down.
It was really bizarre. I spoke to him after the race, and he said that his pedals failed. But yeah, what a time for that to fail. And to top it off as well, we have a drive-through penalty, and you could see the reason for that is I was just looking so much at my stream chat. I just lost concentration, and I've got a drive-through penalty now that I can't serve during this. And plus my teammate is in the pits as well, so that just puts a cherry on the cake, even losing even more time. But we have a drive-through penalty, and it's taken a year for my team to change my wing. This is league racing for you. You can be in a very good position, but a lap later it can just be the complete opposite, and that's just how brutal it can be. And in this race, these incidents, apart from the Zelchi one there, That drive-through is completely on me. Just complete lack of concentration and just looking far too much at my stream chat rather than focusing on the delta that I needed to focus on. And that is just completely...
I don't even know. I'm guessing it was
completely
my
my
fault.
mistake. And yeah, at the time I wasn't too sure, but no, looking back on it, I may be very serious when I'm on the stream, but looking back on the instance, I can always laugh about it, always reflect on it in a positive way. But looking at this, it was 100% my fault that I'm in this position. But we haven't done a drive-through penalty because I was just hoping somehow that the game would just glitch or something. Because if I do a drive-through penalty, there's no way I'm going to get any points. I thought I might as well just risk it and just see what happens, which is pretty stupid. But you can see it's still absolute chaos so far in this race. And no, we're not even going to get a faster snap because we're just losing so much time behind these people. But trying to get a good exit here. I knew it was inevitable that we're going to probably be slapped with a 20-second time penalty. But I'm going to do my best. I'm going to fight to the very end still. And coming into this last chicane now, we just get a 3-second time penalty anyway. Just to throw it in there. Even more salt to the wound. Coming across the line. We come outside the points in P11. And yeah, that's a bit of a reality check that although something is going very well in the league race, you have to keep your concentration at all times, and if you don't, you can get punished very, very severely. And no, 10 laps ago it was just like we could have got a podium. Now we're outside the points, and I think that has resulted in me still having the championship lead but joint with Jam Pancakes now. I might be wrong, standings are going to be up on the screen now, but that is a reality check for the season, to just always be aware of what's going on. But thank you so much again. Thank you so much for 100,000 subscribers. The support has just been overwhelming, to be honest. It's been absolutely nuts. I really hope you enjoyed this. Apologies, it's a long one. A lot of people said they didn't mind, but a lot of stuff happened in this one here. But yeah, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for watching my content. It means everything to me, and I hope you continue to enjoy it for many years to come. Next race will be this Friday, live streamed at Austria. Stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you soon. Peace.